Hello, beautiful souls. I am Saraharyana, and I'm so excited. This is week one of a fruit detox for me, and I really felt so strongly to come forward and share my journey with you regarding a fruit detox. Let's dive right on in. Thank you so much for being here. As some of you may know, I've taken the really deep dive in the past couple of months regarding becoming frugivore, fruitarian, and it was a dear friend of mine that introduced me to this. And also, it was divine timing. This was divine timing. For a long time, I was vegetarian, connecting with my highest self, and it was over time that my body communicated to me to release gluten, to release dairy, and it was really this year in 2026 when I was in a much more stable time in my life. It was extreme upheaval in the past couple of years where I was able to then bring in this awareness regarding the fruit, because fruit is, as we know, is the highest vibrational frequency of food, and it is the cleanser. It is the cleanser. So some of you may want to know where my journey began. I'm going to place the video up here for you to take a look, and it's regarding breaking the false matrix codes with fruit. And then you may have noticed the video recently that came forward regarding traveling through portals, because there's a protocol with going through the portals. There's two protocols, and for those that want to take a deeper dive into that video, the video will be up here. This video is about, I have been, since being shown about these chemical deposits that are in our bodies, and also just going further with the energetic parasites as well. And I want this out of my body. So when I tune within, and again, I am not a doctor, disclaimer here, I'm not a doctor. I am sharing my journey, what's worked with myself, and this may not work for you. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this fruit detox. Right now, as I'm recording this, I'm on day 4. This will be released, and I think I'll be a week in when this is released. And right now, I'm just taking it day by day. But knowing about these chemical deposits and what's been put in our bodies from taking, antibiotics and medications, and it goes on and on. I just thought for myself, I'm in a really good place right now that's stable, and I can go into this fruit detox day by day. I'm tuning every day within my body to see what works. Now, some of you may know that I went into 2 weeks full on eating only raw fruit, and it was wonderful. But I also went really sky high, went out of body. And everything to me is communication with energy and vibration and frequency. And my body was communicating, oh, okay, let's take a pause here. So I started eating then nuts and seeds, beautiful raw veggies. I have oh my gosh, I had the most wonderful spiraled zucchini raw noodles with spinach, then avocado and nuts and seeds on top. It was just so good. And tomatoes. Anyways, um, so doing that, a lot of fruit, but I needed the fats from the nuts, the seeds, and the avocados. I needed that fat. And then also what came in was more information regarding these chemical deposits and what's been happening in this whole thing with the false matrix. And then it came in for myself to go on the fruit detox, to not eat the nuts and seeds. Fruit is the only way that I know right now of to get the chemical deposits and not out, to get the chemical deposits out. And because they're lodged in the tissues, they're lodged in the cells and the organs. And I was shown through my own experiences, clear as day, how the false matrix came in and flipped everything upside down, brainwashed humanity, and brought in that we needed to eat our friends, the animals. And however, that kept us in this karmic loop, kept us in this karmic loop that we can't actually get out of. So we're giving consent whenever we eat an animal. We're giving consent to stay in this karmic loop where the false matrix then feeds off of our energy. I say no more of that. I say I do not consent. So for myself, it is the fruit that will be cleansing this out. I don't know how long this will take. And right now it is only day by day. I think it could take a really long time because you think of how long all this has been going into our bodies. I mean, it could be years. However, I just feel so good on this fruit detox right now. So I just wanted to explain about this. So in case any of you go on the fruit detox, because it is really nice when you can just go day by day. Take it really simple. Day one for me was, and just by the way, too, just backtracking for a moment, when I was on the Fruitarian, when I was eating the raw veggies, the raw fruit, the nuts and seeds, my body absolutely thrived. My body thrived. I was amazed. I know this will be too much information for some, but I mean, 2 to 3 bowel movements a day. My kidneys were filtrating, the lymphatic system was in flow. It was just so good. It was so good. And then, though, the information came in, you know what? I want to get super clear. I want to get this stuff out. So, only way for myself right now is the fruit detox. So, day one, when I went into it, I did have low grade headaches. And I'm in a space now where when I originally did the fruit detox, I did have those, that hamster wheel programming going on. Like, oh, am I going to get bored of the fruit? Is this going to be enough? How can I sustain myself? All of that old programming. So now I'm in a much different spot and I'm in a much different energy than I was then because I've taken even a deeper dive into what the false matrix has done to humanity regarding with food, and it's all of it, all of it. So day one, low grade headaches. And also, I'm noticing too, being on the fruit detox, my exercise has changed. It's not this hardcore exercise. I'm really listening to my body. So the first couple of days into it, I was a great hour bike ride. It was wonderful. Today was about like a 45-minute walk and and some gentle yoga. And second day, I had this beautiful freedom that came in. It was so out of character for me, but I really felt, and some of you may have seen the short, where I was longingly looking at the ocean. And this is so out of character for me to do anything like this. And I was looking at the ocean and I put my feet in, I'm like, I just got to go in the ocean. And I saw this grandmother off to the side. She went in and with her swimsuit and her 2 grandkids were on the beach. And I'm like, oh, I just really want to go in. I really want to go into the ocean. And I'm like, you know what? No one else cares. No one's watching me. And I just took off my shirt and my pants. I went in my bra and underwear. I waded in and I was just, getting accustomed because it's really cold. The ocean here, it's Pacific Ocean. It's cold. And going in, and it was so amazing. I just was like, F it, I'm going to dive right in. I dove right in, swam in. The vehicle that was off to the right, they started honking their horn. They were so sweet. It was a couple and they were just thumbs upping. They were like, yes, yes. And it was so wonderful. I mean, humanity is just, like in moments where it's such kindness and so much love and, we cheer each other on. So it was beautiful. I dove in and after I came out of the ocean, I'm like, was that the fruit? Was that the fruit that I'm feeling just so liberated and free? I'm feeling so detached from the false matrix, from these, restrictions and constraints. And yes, I got in meditation. Yes. And part of also why I'm going on this fruit detox is regarding with, connecting with our highest selves. I have found that I was on a vegetarian diet for a really long time, and yes, I connected with my highest self, but there's something about when you go raw plant-based, and even take the further step into going fruit, especially in a fruit detox. I'm not saying that you always will have to be on a fruit detox, but for myself, I want the chemical deposits and I want the energetic parasites out. So that's what I've been guided to do. And for myself, the water fast didn't work for me. Being on a fruit detox, yeah, it's enjoyable. I like it. I feel good. I'm happy. So day 2, that was when the freedom came in. Day 3 was a magical opportunity that arrived and I was floored. So it was just this opening of my energy as well. And today it has been such a leveling up of happiness, of contentment, of peace and calm. And I'm so excited to share the journey. So I don't know how long I'll be on the fruit detox for, but I'll continue to share my journey weekly. If that aligns with you, some of you this won't align, and this is no pressure on what we're eating. This is my own experience I want to share with you, and this is going to be really taking off, everyone. A lot of people going to raw plant-based diet. You may be thinking, well, why raw? Why raw? And it's been shown to me so crystal clear is that when we're eating the cooked, it kills the structure of the nutrients of, and yes, it can be comforting. Of course, it can be comforting to eat, cooked foods. And so many of us, we've been brought up on that. But, and this is a big but, when we eat the raw living food and it comes into our vessels really thrive. And there is this energetic clarity. There's a deeper, really crystal clear connection with our highest selves. Again, only take what resonates with you. This is what I have been finding for myself. And there is this huge amount of peace and calm that comes in. But our bodies start working so efficiently, so efficiently. And I really wish I would have known this when I entered perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. The 3D matrix really pushes the drugs on us, really, really pushes the drugs on us. As soon as we go to the doctor and we're like, oh, yeah, or we're grieving or something's happened and we go in and we're depressed. It's like, here's the prescription. You've got bronchitis or you've got something, here's the prescription. It's just this constant through the false matrix. But we know that long ago we worked in harmony with nature, with the animals, with the plants. And we worked in a holistic nature. We worked with plant medicine. And I just am so grateful. I'm so grateful to feel this good in a fruit detox. And I'm also actually so grateful too, because the water fasting never aligned with me. And I thought, with listening to others and, you know, I'm really grateful that I listened to my own body. So whatever you take away from this is, tune within, listen to your own body. For those of you that may be starting the fruit detox, there's a couple of helpful hints that I want to share. First is, and this is for everybody, whether you're doing the fruit detox or not. As soon as you wake up in the morning, I highly recommend, and I learned this from my yoga teacher training years ago and also some Ayurvedic training as well, that our bodies are constantly working for us. So when we're actually sleeping at night, there's actually garbage that comes up through our tongue. So I highly recommend getting a stainless steel tongue scraper. So when you wake up in the morning, you take that tongue scraper and it's gently, this is not harsh because you don't want your tongue to bleed. You're gently scraping your tongue. I usually do this about 6 times and I'm wiping this off. You wipe off the gunk. If you are not scraping that off, you are swallowing back that garbage that the body has taken out of through your mouth. So that's one beautiful tip, is getting a stainless steel tongue scraper. And I know some of you have already been doing this for a very long time. That's one of the first things I do. Another one is dry brushing. You can get one of those dry brushes. And for myself, I gently sweep up to the heart and then I sweep down to the heart and I just gently sweep my body with dry brushing. This is so great for the lymphatic system. The other one is doing a lymphatic massage. I gently do a lymphatic massage. This only takes me like a couple minutes. And this is usually when I get out of the shower. I do a gentle lymphatic massage and you just tune within what you want to do for a lymphatic massage. You can just do this on your body. It's, going over the collarbones 10 times, the left, the right, and then you're tapping it. You go to the neck, you're tapping it. You can go right where the ears are. You're tapping this. You go underneath the armpits. You tap it, and you go where the belly is. You tap it. You go to the groin area. And you go to the back of the knees, and then you tap. And also within the fruit detox, it is the understanding that to be very gentle and kind with yourself, because there's going to be so much that is coming up to the surface regarding emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So some of you may think, you know what? I'm good after a day. That's good. I'm good with that. And then you might, go into the raw plant-based diet, or you might go into cooked vegetables or whatever that looks like, and then just slowly work your way. You may not at all. However, understanding that with a fruit detox, it is really listening to our vessels, because our bodies will communicate when we've had enough and it's time to take a break from it. And for others, you may be okay with taking a really deep dive for a really long time going the fruit detox. There are some that are going to be okay with doing this for months, and you may never go back again to even eating veggies, nuts, or seeds. You actually have a different energetic blueprint where you are, you know, it's all systems go, where you were eating fruit. You feel so aligned with the frequency. So it's each of us is tuning within, and I will share this journey as it comes forward. And also, the one last tip is regarding the exercise. It is being on the fruit detox, you may find that it's movement, it's different movement, it's more gentler, it's not hard impact. And really understanding that these wonderful vessels are our temples, these wonderful temples. And really, it doesn't take much for us to get into this beautiful flow of efficiency and of deep gratitude, and our bodies work so beautifully for us and with us. Now, there's a couple of things. One is, if you begin to do the fruit detox, please know that you may get really hungry, really, really hungry, because the fruit goes really quickly through the body. And it is normal to eat a lot more fruit at the beginning. Eventually, there is a leveling out. And you may be thinking, well, what do you eat on what do you eat your day to day? I'll give you an example of my first day. My first day was first having warm water. I don't do warm water and lemon anymore. I've done that for years, and I just like warm water. So after doing this tongue scraping, I wash my face with a nice hot cloth with nothing on it. It's just water. And then I'll have I'll move into meditation, maybe some movement. It changes, it varies. Then once I have the warm water, I will, it's usually later on that I begin eating. So it might be late morning. And then they have these beautiful organic watermelons on sale right now in our local market. And I took a quarter of it because it was quite large. Quarter of it, I scooped it out, put it in the Vitamix. I don't currently have a juicer. One's been ordered. And so I put it in the Vitamix. You can use a blender, and you don't have to use any of that. This is just what my experience is. And then I took some fresh mint leaves from the garden, and I squeezed a whole lime, blended it all up, and that's what I was drinking throughout the morning. It's delicious, by the way. And then later on, when I got really hungry, I had a whole pink raw grapefruit. It was delicious. And then later on, I made myself a smoothie, a couple bananas, and I put some berries in it, blended it up with some water. Absolutely delicious. Later on, and I'll have a cup of tea. I had a cup of peppermint tea, and that's all I needed. And I felt really, really, really good. So for those of you that have any questions about the fruit detox or the fruitarian diet, place your questions below and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. I'll answer some of the questions that I feel aligned with in the next video. And I leave this message with a wonderful owl. And actually, it's when I started the it's when I started the fruit detox. I think it was day 1. Oh my gosh, and I looked out the window and I was actually here on one of these trees here. I looked out and there was the barred owl. So when I saw this owl, it was so they're just so magnificent. Are they owls, all birds, all animals? And may the frequency of this owl, of the deep wisdom, flow deeply into your heart. We're all doing the best we can. Blessings of love and light to all. Namaste.